Alright guys, and welcome to another beer review, and today we're popping back over to Thornbridge and we're looking at the wonderfully named I Love You, Will You Marry Me, which is a strawberry blonde ale clocking in at 4.5% ABV. Forgot to bring my glass over because I'm an idiot. But yeah, so this is light blonde in colour. Love You is matured with strawberries, creating a natural sweetness balanced with just a hint of tartness. Proper England, Peter. Ingredients are water, barley, wheat, hops, yeast and lactose. Best before date is the 18th of May 2018. ABV 4.5% in a 330ml bottle, if I can find good light, because the light in here is still becoming very unsatisfactory for me. But yeah, I love the name of this. Maybe it's the hopeless romantic in me. I'm not sure if there's a story to this beer. If there is, then I can find the links. Check them out down below. Thornbridge, I've not had the biggest experience with Thornbridge. What I have had, pretty solid. There've been some that have fallen under the wayside. I think when I reviewed Jaipur, if I think I uploaded it, I think I reviewed that beer a little bit too late. I should have done it when it was, because it was at a time, I remember, a really highly regarded IPA to rival the likes of Punk IPA. But, the world of craft beer and beer in general, it's always, evolving, it's going forward. And, you find these... I'm not saying it's not highly regarded beer, because it is. It's still a very popular beer, but I think I just drank that at the wrong time. I was a little bit too late to the party, and it really didn't do too much for me. Some of the other Thornbridge beers I've enjoyed. Some I've enjoyed more than others, but I don't think I've had a bad Thornbridge beer. And yeah, this is one that I'd heard a lot of people talk about, especially when they actually, really nicely proposed to their other halves using this beer. Which, I love stuff like that, it's got a story to it. Anyway, let's start waffling on and get on with the beer. Lovely imagery there with someone actually spray painting I Love You, Will You Marry Me, proposing to their loved one. I'm not sure where that is. Would that be in, because this is part of the Peak District. But yeah, simple artwork, but it's still somewhat uniform to their labelling style, and of course you get the label on the neck, and there is the Thornbridge crown. So without any further ado, let's get this opened and see what we get. Not too much in terms of smoke. Well, that's never an issue really, is it? So I picked this up in booths in MediaCity in Salford, so I'll put that link down below, and of course any other beers that I've bought from booths that I've reviewed, I'll put that playlist down as well, so you can see what they've got there. Great range. I could have come out with so many more beers, but I spent a little bit too much anyway on the beers that I did get. I'll tell you what, I was not expecting this to be as hazy as it is, even though of course they've used actual strawberries in there, and there are little bits and bobs down below. I thought it would have been a little bit more filtered, but I'm very happy with how that beer's turned out. Looks slightly darker on camera, but what you get is a lovely sort of murky, like rusty, dirty water look to it with some amber copper hues in there. But yeah, lovely sedimentation cloud, bits and bobs floating in the bottom of the glass. Beer poured with just shy of about half finger's worth of the off-white head. And yeah, lovely haziness to it. Got like a real nice sense of opaqueness or opacity. Is opacity the correct term for opaque? I don't know. I did okay in English GCSE, but I'm not exactly a wordsmith. Not even that good of a beer reviewer either, but I'm a jack of all trades. They're not really helpful. Anyway, let's. It just looks lovely. It's almost looking like mango, like not mango fruit juice, but like tropical fruit juice now. Yeah, let's give it a sniff. You're not really getting the strawberry in there, so it's not sweet. It's far from sweet actually. It's got a real sense of yeastiness to it, almost bordering into that sort of Belgian style. I mean, it is described as a blonde ale, so yeah, does this fall under like a Belgian blonde with the addition of fruit? I mean, there is like a slight sweetness in there, maybe a subtle tartness. It's a little bit funky as well, but the strawberry isn't really pronounced, which is good because then it would probably become a little bit too sickly. But yeah, bready, yeasty, got sort of spicy tones in there, crisp, biscuity malt characters as well. Yeah, smells nice, smells pleasant. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Cheers to anyone who's waiting to be married. I don't know, we've got to keep a theme with this review, don't we? Anyway, cheers guys. That's interesting. Lovely, bold, velvety body to it. To me, it's got that sort of like the body of what I would expect from my somewhat limited experience from like one of these New England, Vermont style pale ales and IPAs. Lovely and bold, not too heavy, but not too light, not watery. You really have to find that strawberry flavour. Now, I mean, it's, 18th of May 2018, going off, if they do, of 1 year shelf life. That's not too old, it's a few months older than most people would probably want it, but I couldn't see like the strawberry flavour dying off that much. I mean, I could be completely wrong, so feel free to correct me if you tried it or if the guys over at Thornbridge are by chance watching this review. Yeah, it's very, very Belgian. Very, 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 very Belgian. It's a very, very Belgian beer. It's very, very Belgian in its flavour profile. Big funky, well, it's not like absurdly funky, not really tart, but it's got that yeasty breadiness that you would find in a lot of Belgian style beers. There's like a subtle sweetness coming through, which I was expecting maybe a little bit more strawberry, if I'm being honest. But again, that could be a little bit overpowering. But I think a blonde ale is a good style of beer to carry the addition of strawberries. Yeah, it's tasty. It's nothing offensive in there. Although it's just not what I was expecting it to be honest. Would I say it's a yeast bomb? Maybe. Maybe as I get a bit further down and incorporate all that beer together, that strawberry flavour will come out a bit more. A little bit. Yeah. I don't think you'd be able to detect it if you didn't know that there was strawberry in there. Well, probably a lot of better palates than mine. Well, let's face it, a lot of palates are better than mine. A lot of people would probably be able to detect that strawberry element. I mean, strawberry is one of the few fruits that I like to eat as it is, aside from like having strawberry flavoured things. Even though there was a spell when I was a kid where I thought I was allergic to them because I came off a massive rash just by chance that I'd eaten strawberries. So I don't know what the hell happened there, but I always attributed it to strawberries, and that was like 15, almost 20 years of not enjoying strawberries because I thought I was allergic to them. And I find out they're perfectly fine and damn tasty. I like berries in general, to be honest. But we're not here to talk about my life and my hypochondria. It's subtle tartness, a little bit funky, bready, very yeasty. It's bold, lovely smooth mouthfeel to it. I just want a little bit more character with it, and unfortunately that's what I find with some of the Thornbridge beers that I've tried. They've been like really nice baseline beers, but when they're offering to something in the description of the beer, it's not always like, it never really reaches that high level, if that makes sense, from the ones that I've experienced. And Thornbridge, they're a brewery that a lot of their beers are available in supermarkets. They do some really interesting barrel-aged beers, which I'd love to try, and collaboration beers. They had one that they did with Brooklyn in like was it a 750 or a 660? It was like a Belgian-style wheat beer, or a farmhouse ale that they brewed, which I was almost going to buy, but for some reason I didn't. So they're a brewery that I'll try as many of their beers as I can, because I like that they interest me. I like the styles that they do. I like the fact that they do a lot of German styles, because yeah, I'm a big fan of German beers and lagers and that sort of thing. But this is nice. It's a nice beer. It just could have a little bit more to it, to be honest. And I'm going to leave it at that. So would I try it again? Yeah, I would actually. I'd try this a little bit fresher. Maybe try this on cask or tap, however they do it in bars and pubs, if they even release it in bars and pubs. So in terms of rating, I'm going to give it a very solid 7 out of 10. So if you've tried this one or any of the other beers from Thornbridge, then give me your thoughts and opinions down below. Any recommendations are welcome. Check out my Thornbridge playlist. Check out my Blondale playlist as well. As is always the case, if any of my good friends here on BeanTube have reviewed it, then of course their reviews will be included. Check out Thornbridge and check out Booze, especially your local branch, because you'll find some fantastic beers in there, I'm sure of it. And more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. So thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers. This one goes out to my fellow hopeless romantics. Cheers.